This is going to be a video on how to make a conditional form. This is the kind of form that you're going to make for your Hinge Point history interactive portion. So at this point, by the time that you get to what we're doing in this video, you should actually have all of your writing pretty much done. In the video, I'm going to be writing on the fly just to show you how easy it is. But this should actually be an even easier process for you because you're working off of text that's already written. So how are we going to start? Well, the first thing that we're going to do, and I'm already there, but we're going to go to forms.google.com. You guys have access to this. This is just a part of Google Docs. From there, we're going to click on blank form to get started with our story. And just like anything else, we're going to put a couple things on here, just like Jim's story. Ooh, and let me turn off Grammarly, which I installed recently and kind of sucks. All right, there we go. Jim's story, there we go. And that's going to be the title of my thing as well. I'm just going to write, enjoy an interactive story from Jim. Woohoo! Right. So first, let's see how questions actually work in Google Forms. This is what Google Forms looks like. We have an area right here. This has content. So this is the beginning of a section right here. This is a question. And then right over here, we actually see a whole bunch of things that we can stick in here. One of them is add a question. One of them is import questions. We have add title and description, add image, add video. And then down here, add section. This is actually going to be one of our most important things. So let's get started and just make a basic question so we can see what goes into that. So untitled question, are you having a good day? Right, and then over here, we have multiple choice. So if you do multiple choice, the user can pick one of them. If you have check boxes, it can be many things. And then we have things like drop down, blah, 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 blah. The only reason I'm blah, blah, blahing is to make this work. All we're doing is multiple choice. That's the only kind of question that we can ask here. So while that's clicked, we're in great shape. So I'm going to write down yes and add other, and my answer right here, whenever this clicks in, is going to be, sorry. Let's try that again. I'm going to add an option that just says, heck yes. There we go. Those are our two options. Sick. And then down here, you can see a little toggle that says required. Pretty much all of these need to be required. So we're just going to click on this guy. Sweet. So there's our first question. Now, what do we do about actually making this conditional? So if someone clicks yes, they get a different answer than heck yes. Well, that's where our sections come in. Let's take a look. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a section. I'm going to call it, just so it's easy for us, yes. And then down here in my description, this is where I can write my story. So I'm going to write, you woke up today and your favorite breakfast was waiting for you. The weather was great and you went to school where you saw your buddies. Sick. Cool. And actually, let's go ahead and just make another section right now. So I'm using this add section button, and this is going to be our heck yes section. Boom. Heck yes. Hooray. So we're going to say, and again, using second person, right? You woke up today and won the dang lottery. After that, Jack Black came to your house and let you ride his motorcycle to the beach where you got to hang out with someone who is cool too. I don't know. Anyway, so there's our story. And if we think about this like our flow chart, right? Are you having a good day is one of the conditions from our flow chart. And these are the two options that choosing a condition brings you to. Okay? So what are we going to do to make it so yes goes here and heck yes goes here? Well, we're going to come back up to the question. And then if we look at our settings, there's actually a bunch of things that we can do with this little drop down in here where it says more options. I'm going to click that. And then down here it says go to section based on answer. I'm going to click this guy. And then our default is continue to the next section. If we leave it like this, it'll just go from section 1 to section 2, then section 3, right? It's going to go in order. However, if we make it a bit of a change here, go to section 2, yes! And then down here, section 3, heck yes, we're good to go. Now let's see what happens. I'm going to hit publish on my form. Bam, there we go. And I am going to take a look at the responder link. I will explain what that is. And if we get to this form, hey, here we go. Here's my story. Are you having a good day? Well, we know if I hit yes, it would just take me to the next block. So let's hit heck yes and see if it gets there automatically. Click next. Oh, all right. Here we go. Heck yes, there we go. You woke today and won the dang lottery. So we see that actually in this form, we skipped over that second response, the one that was just for regular yes, and we got right here. Now multiply that process by 20 or so, and that is how we're going to make a conditional form in Google Forms. So if I come back, here, let's go back over here, and let's just reload this. It'll be brand new. I'm going to go over to my forms. Done. And down in section 3, this is my description. Let me add another question. Let's see. Do you, or hang on. Which of the following do you do with JB's motorcycle? And the first one is going to say, pop a sick wheelie. And then the other one is going to be ride to freedom and feel the wind in my hair. Awesome. All right. Same thing as before. Let's make some sections for that to be a landing area, right? We know it's multiple choice. We're going to make a section for each answer, right? And down here, we're going to name the section kind of something similar to the answer. So we're going to name it wheelie. We're going to say, you pop, you poop, you pop a wheelie, and everyone cheers, but then the bike flies off a cliff and you grow wings and ascend to birdland. I don't know, man. You make up a story on the fly. All right, so there's one. Now we need another section for our other answer. So the other answer was freedom. Ride to freedom. Okay, let's see. You hop on that hog, which is a fancy name for a motorcycle, and get it into gear, heading west to the sunset, where you know there are infinite possibilities. Fantastic. Now, doing that, we're going to come back up to section 3, and we are going to make it required, and we're going to make it conditional. So, multiple choice. Here we go. Ooh, show description. What's going on here? Oh, after section 3. Here we go. Let's see. Is this required? Yes. Where are my things? All right, ignore this for now. There might be a little bug. After section 3, well, it should kind of work like the other one. Maybe it's because, here we go. So we saw we had go to section based on answer, multiple choice. I feel like this is because it's a checkbox, but it's saying it's a multiple choice. That's weird. Let's see if we can change that up. Checkbox, multiple choice. There we go. I think I fixed the bug, my friends. Bam, go to section based on answer. I'm the smartest man alive. All right, 4 and then 5. Cool. And it's already published, so let's go back to this link, and I'm going to hit refresh. And also, here we go, and heck yes. There we go. So now I come to this, and now I have 2 more options. I'm going to pop a sick wheelie. Next. There we go. You pop a sick wheelie, and everyone cheers, and the bike flies off. Awesome. Hit next. And this is just because we made it so section 4 continues to the next section. However, if we want this to be the end, we can also change this to be submit form. So let's go ahead and try that again. All right, I'm going to go back to the main form question here. We say, heck yes. Then we're going to pop a sick wheelie. And then you pop a wheelie and everyone cheers. Then the bike flies off the cliff and you grow wings and send to birdland. Submit. And that's the end of the story. So, in general, that is how we're going to use Google Forms. It's not too difficult. The big things to check off here are your section description is where you write in the text that you've been writing down. Your options are questions here. You don't always have to have a question, and I will go over that in class. You make your questions multiple choice, and then you use the triple dot drop down to go to section based on answer. Using that, you select the correct section. You might have made it ahead of time, or you might still need to make it. Make sure it jumps correctly. And then when you get to a section that has an endpoint, like this one, wheelie, it's going to be submit form. And then down in freedom, both of these are going to be our final kind of endpoints, right? There's nothing after freedom, so it just has to end. So let's double check to make sure that worked. One more time. Coming back over to here. I'm going to change up my answers. Let's try yes. I keep on doing that. All right. You woke up today and your favorite breakfast is waiting for you. Awesome. I don't like that answer. Let's go back. Heck yes. Here we go. And let's ride to freedom. Bing. You hop on that hog in gear, heading west of the sunset. Awesome. Submit. And then we finish the story again. So this is the experience that your audience should be partaking in. Enjoy.